Hey, Charlotte Reed here. Welcome to the ranch. It's a beautiful day on the ranch today. You can probably hear the roosters and the goat that's locked up because he can't be with his girlfriends, and the other goats are out in the pasture waiting for the coyote to come stalk them again. I've been watching him. It's crazy. Anyway, so I'm here today to share with you the story of my husband Cowboy, how he got bit by the rattlesnake, and lived to tell about it, and how I took care of the wound with my natural empowering medicine. So learn more about this natural empowering medicine on this video. 2 weeks ago to the day, my husband was up in the hills fencing. And he came upon a rattlesnake, only about yay big, a small one, with two little buds for the rattle so you couldn't hear it buzz. And as he was fencing, he got bit by a rattlesnake. Here's what we don't know, and as part of the story, is that my husband has caught lots of rattlesnakes in his life. And if you hold them right behind the head, you know, you put a stick on their head to hold them down, then you grab them behind the head. And if you hold them there like that, usually they don't turn around and bite you. Whoops! So anyway, he stayed there for a while continuing fencing, and he discovered that his hand was kind of getting a little numb, and it kind of hurt, and it was starting to swell up. So he thought, I guess I better head home. So he starts driving, and yeah, his hand is now swelling up. Big, puffy, huge, and he can feel the poison just working its way up his hand, just like cement, like, and just pain. And his hand is just pain. Is working his way up. So he's an hour and a half to the hospital, and I am 45 minutes away doing grocery shopping this way, so we have to meet at the hospital. It's about 3:30 in the afternoon. Actually, sorry, he got bit at 3:30. By the time he got down there, it was like 5. So anyway, we meet at the hospital, and his hand is like Goodyear blimp, like red, huge, and the little bite marks. He only got bit by one fang. The other fang just kind of grazed him, so you could see the fang marks. Okay, whoa. That was crazy. So anyway, we're at the hospital. Strike one for the hospital. Come to find out, anti-venom, which we're raised in rattlesnake country, we're taught our whole lives, if you get bit by a rattlesnake, go to the hospital, get anti-venom, right? No, not so. Anti-venom is actually more painful and worse than the actual bite. So you can go into anaphylactic shock, your heart can stop, you can die. So the anti-venom is really reserved for if you're only going to die anyways. So, and later we learned out that it's very expensive too, and they don't really have that much of it. So strike one for anti-venom. Strike two for the hospital. They immediately put an ice pack on his hand, which we think it has inflammation. We need to put an ice pack on it, correct? No, because the ice pack actually keeps the venom in one spot so that the poison can just eat away and kill all the tissue in one spot. Hence, your finger turns black and falls off, or it needs to be cut off. Okay, there's strike two for the hospital. Bless their hearts. You know what? I'm really thankful for hospitals. I'm thankful for modern medicine. We have a lot of miracles, and I'm really thankful the hospitals are there in case of a really true life-threatening emergency. I'm definitely going to go to the hospital. Okay, the number 3 for the hospital was the doctor came in and told my husband, there's not much we can do. Go home, drink some Gatorade, take an ibuprofen. Basically, then the quiet message was, when your finger turns black, come back in and we'll cut it off. And we thought, no thanks. So after the doctor left the room and let us just sit there a while they processed the paperwork, my husband turns to me, and remember that he's not really a fan of my empowering medicine on a usual basis. You know, if he's in really a lot of pain, he's definitely going to ask for some help. But on this occasion, he hadn't asked for help. He didn't want my help at that time. And as he turned to me, he said, I guess you better oil me up. And I went, whoa, and quietly inside myself, I did this little happy dance, woohoo, you know, because I knew, this whole time I was feeling this peace and calm and faith in God that, you know what, he was taking care of us and we were going to be okay. That, you know, it's a snake bite. It could be really bad. He could have died. But I knew that we were being taken care of. That was my first thought. My second thought was that I have the oils, and I know how to take care of my family. I may not have that oil book right by me at the moment, but I know how to listen to inspiration and follow my intuition and know what oils to use to take care of this issue. So I did. So I took out first the protective blend, which has clove and cinnamon in it, and I put a drop on the wound, the bite mark, to basically kill the germs, you know, as best I could. Then I took out geranium and helichrysum because I could see that the tissue was having issues. Basically, I always call in helichrysum as any kind of major issue. It's one of those big guns that I always pull out first. So geranium to help the tissues, but then I ran out of both geranium and helichrysum, and I was like, oh, bummer. So I'd have to wait till I got home to use more of those. The next blend that I pulled out was the pain relieving blend, and I basically rubbed it. Now his hand is so tender that even the slightest touch would hurt, and so I would drop it on his hand and I would carefully, just carefully kind of rub it on as light as I could and rub it up his arm, because at this time his arm is swollen almost up to here. Big swollen, okay? So I would just rub that pain relieving blend on. And then after a couple of minutes, when the pain would kind of go down just a little bit and the swelling would actually go down, you could see it go down, and the color would actually kind of go from bright red just back to a pinkish, then I would rub the massage blend, and I felt like I should rub the massage blend too, and I ended up rubbing that one clear up as high as I could, because by now he's feeling that pain all the way up his arm, and it's painful, and he's like, ugh, but he hasn't taken any pain medication at this time. So I kept rubbing every few minutes, you know, and I just kept rubbing. You could see when those oils would hit his system that this pain would go down and he would relax a little bit and the inflammation would decrease a little bit. Okay, so basically we got sent home from the hospital, that was all, and the next, you know, a few hours after that, when we got home, I would rub his arm with the pain relieving and the massage blend. Come to find out, the massage blend has basil in it. And when I got home and checked my book, you know, that Oils Bible that I tell you, this is so awesome that we all must have, that said to use basil on a snake bite. So come to find out, I was using basil and didn't even realize that that was the right thing to do. Cool. So I took out my plain basil oil though and then rubbed it. I didn't feel like it was doing as much good as the massaging blend itself. So I just kept using the massage blend. I'd use basil maybe a little bit here and there. And then that night I kept using massage blend and the pain relieving blend. The next day I felt impressed to use the Immortelle anti-aging blend. Okay, the anti-aging blend has frankincense, sandalwood, helichrysum, and rose oil in it. So I felt impressed to use that oil, and I would rub it very lightly and carefully. Well, then after that, you know, the swelling is still kind of biggish, and then the next day I saw right here on his arm the hugest bruise, strangest looking thing I've ever seen in my life. It was literally a pool of blood, and you could see it was like poison blood. It was like bluish purple, black, crazy gross, right there on his arm, and it was just pooling right there. Maybe of how he was holding his arm or whatever, because remember, he's a cowboy, so he's still out going doing cowboy stuff. 2 days later, he ended up roping a yearling and doctoring it with his, and that's his dallying hand, you know, with his right hand. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, so anyway, he has this pool here, and I would use the Immortelle, and then I felt impressed, and thanks to some leaders who told me to use the DDR Prime, which is the DNA repair blend. And basically, after doing some research in my book and online, I discovered that I needed to clean out his lymph system, because that is how the venom is spreading, is via the lymph. So that DDR Prime has some oils in it, like, I can't even remember. As there's some cool intense oils that had the power to help clean that lymph out. So on that day that I saw the pool here, then I started rubbing towards his heart. Yeah, makes no sense, right? Move the poison towards the heart. Counterintuitive, but that's what I felt like I needed to do. So we rubbed the poison up here towards his heart, and then the next day the pool had moved to here, and the pocket of poison was right here on him. And so then we kept rubbing towards his heart and got it moved up and away. And after that, it totally just disappeared. And then we're about a week later, which actually, sorry, we're about 5 days later. Then we had to go to a wedding in Montana, so I didn't really oil him up as much. And it was looking pretty good. His hand was still maybe a tiny bit swollen red, a little bit tender still. If you bumped it, it would hurt. And his finger was a little bit, maybe a little bit, I don't know, pinkish, more pinkish than the other fingers. So then a week later, I'm pretty much not rubbing him at all, because he's like, I'm fine, quit touching me with that stuff, you know. And yeah, no more natural empowering medicine for me. So I couldn't really get at his wound. He would let me look at it from a distance, is about all. It's like, I'm fine, leave me alone. After that, I haven't really rubbed him. So it's now been 2 weeks, and I have not rubbed him really for the past week. And right now, he has no swelling. He has no discoloration. There's no discoloration. The only little bit of discoloration is his whole finger on the inside. If you look at it, it's just a little bit more pink or purplish. Okay, not purple, but like a little bit lavender maybe. So it's a really, you know, a little bit darker than the other fingers, and that's it. You can still see the fang marks, but other than that, he's like totally awesome. And you know what? That's pretty dang cool. So I'm thankful for the hospital. I'm thankful for these lessons that we get to learn, and I'm very thankful for the oils. I'm thankful that I have that natural, empowering medicine to take care of my family in my own home. I mean, goodness sakes, what if I hadn't have had those oils when he got bit by a snake? What would we have done? Wait for his finger to turn black and get it cut off? That sounds like fun. No. So go to naturalempoweringmedicine.com so that I can share more oil stories with you and teach you how to use these oils so that you can take care of your own family. Don't wait for a crisis like a rattlesnake bite before you get the oils. Make sure that you get them now and be prepared. Know how to use them now so that when something does come up, you can be like me. I was full of peace and faith. I knew that, that our Father in heaven was taking care of us, and I had those oils, and I felt impressed to use them. So I'm thankful for the oils. Go to naturalempoweringmedicine.com, enter your name and email, learn more about these awesome oils. This is Charlotte Reed on the ranch, and I don't see the coyote coming back, so I think we're good for the day. Okay, love you. Bye-bye.